So today's going to be a little bit different. The audio is probably going to be terrible, but there's a reason for this, and that is I am doing a full office tour. I just got a brand new desk. Actually, I got two desks, and so I thought it'd be a good idea to give you guys a full tour of this place while it's still clean before I have it filled up with boxes and all sorts of crazy stuff where I can only film part of the office. So here we go. Let's do a quick office tour. All right, so as we're walking into the office, the new stuff in here are my desks. I did have a problem with one of my Cintiqs, this Cintiq 24. It's on this desk. There's my ring light, so if you ever see like rings of light in my eyes, that's where that's coming from. Over here is the backdrop wall. This is where you often see like behind my head kind of blurred out. Here you get a crisper view of what's on there, some of my toys and some of my books, and yes, even one of my favorite Lego sets. I have a giant dirty beanbag on the floor I like to sit on. I also keep a lot of my cords. I have a lot of cords. Some lighting. This new desk is going to be used for staging some of my photography, which I'm really excited about, and some of the product photos I'm getting out of that little area already are phenomenal. I've got a couple that I've been shooting lately. This is the XP Pen Deco. That review is coming next week. Pretty excited about that. So I have all that stuff out there and just the stuff it's been connected to. And then over here, whoosh, this is my workspace. Got my iMac and then I got my Cintiq, and I forgot to move the trash can, my sketchbook. I've been practicing horses this morning. Yeah, so this is my setup. It usually doesn't look this clean. I'm going to have a lot more paper and stuff like that in front of me in the coming weeks. But for now, this is the setup. So I wanted to give a quick office tour because several people asked when I said that I was getting these desks in here. Quick cut, because I am currently underneath my brand new desk. And the reason I'm down here is to show you, to the best of my ability, because it's hard to film down here, that this is a custom-made desk. My father-in-law made this desk for me. I helped out a little bit. I added a little cable thing that's kind of hard to see. It's impossible to see, so I guess you're going to have to take my word for it that I built a little wooden cable box to hide my cables and my big brick from the Cintiq power thing. But at any rate, this is custom. I didn't buy it anywhere. I got it cheap because obviously my father-in-law built it, so we just had to buy the materials. And so that is the fun stuff. This is the tiny little room that I do all of my video making in. There is my camera. There's my wall art. Anyway, if you have any comments or questions, let me know down below. A couple things. This cabinet is left over from the Stone Ages. It used to be part of my old desk a long time ago. And at some point in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be running down to IKEA, and I'm going to be replacing it with one of these nicer, cleaner desks. So anyway, hope you like it. I'm really excited about my new office. I'm glad I get to show it off. And we're back, and the sound should be better, and the video should be better. So if you do follow me over on Twitter, you've probably seen the progression in me talking about the desks a little bit over the last couple weeks and how they've been coming together and how happy I am with them. But you probably haven't really heard the story about why this happened in the first place. So I showed you the Cintiq Pro 24. It is very heavy. Wacom also sent me the Ergotron arm with that, or what's it called? Flex arm. That's what they call this thing. It connects to the back. That is also very heavy to offset the weight of the Cintiq Pro. And I had some cheap IKEA desks sitting around in here, and I'd been using them for years. And one day I pulled my Cintiq Pro over in front of me, and I just heard this crinkling noise, like the fibers of wooden particle board being torn apart. As I pulled it down, it was like crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And so I knew something was terribly wrong. And so I thought, I better not do this anymore. This table can't handle this much weight, because all the weight was obviously in the back, and it's, the weight is in the front, but it's attached in the back. And so it was pulling up on the table and just ripping up the back of the table. So what I did is I switched the arm to the front of the table off to my side, because it puts it in the same position. I thought, well, what I'll do with it is then I can, just pull it over from my side. It'll physically be in the same place, but it'll be mounted somewhere else. And I did that. By the end of the day, because I drew on it all day, I looked at it and it was starting to crack the table. And so I thought, I'm just not going to use it with this table anymore. It's not built for this, which I kind of knew, but the fact that I got as many months out of it as I have
it probably is a testament to how well the IKEA tables are built. Anyway, that's what happened. I got two beautifully stained new tables out of the deal, so it turned out pretty well. So that's a really long entrance to a Q&A video. I do only have 3 questions this week. If you have a question, reply to the email that sent you here. And if you don't get that email and you got here by some other way, there is a link down below in the description. So the first question here is from Vicente. Would you recommend the iPad mini over the iPad Air? I did some research and the iPad Air screen is not laminated. So I have good news for you. It actually is laminated. I haven't used the Air personally to see if it's laminated, but everything I've read has said that it's laminated. All the reviews I've seen about it say it's laminated. The older iPad Airs were not laminated. And so it's possible that what you read might be older information or information quoting from the wrong source. But rest assured, if you want the larger screen, you want to get the iPad Air instead of the mini, don't worry, that screen is just as good as it is on the mini. This question is from Jumping Bean. He says, hello, Brad. I'm wondering, what brushes do you use in Procreate? Are you using the normal brushes? Do you have custom brushes? All that fun stuff. So here's primarily what I'm using. I'm using the brushes that come with Procreate for the most part with a little bit of tweaks. I have the pencil brushes that I use for sketching. I just use whatever they have in Procreate. And then the inking brushes I've tweaked. So what I've done is I've taken the Technical Pen and I've made 2 versions of it. And so I have a version called Technical Pen Wiggly, where I've gone in and I've changed one of the settings. I think it's called the Streamline setting. And what that does is that basically smooths out the line a bit. On one of them, on the Wiggly one, I've turned that setting all the way down. Then I have the duplicate of that Technical Pen brush, which is called Tech Pen Streamline, and I have that turned up to about 50%. And so basically I can jump between those two. When I'm trying to draw really smooth line work, I love to use the Tech Pen and I like to get those nice smooth lines, so I use the Streamline version. And when I'm painting quickly, like trying to fill in an area and that sort of thing and doing detail work or doing fast hatching and stuff like that, I don't like Streamline turned on. So it's easier for me to create a separate brush, one with it turned on, one with it turned off, so I could just swap between those brushes instead of jumping into the settings. So that's pretty much it. I'm not using anything too fancy in my work, just the Tech Pen and any pencils that come with Procreate. This question is from Roxanne, and the question is, I was reading a review on the iPad and I was wondering if there are any Android tablets that compare. I'm not a big Apple fan. So from a hardware standpoint, yes, there are. Take a look at last year's, I think it was the Samsung Galaxy Tab S4. It comes with the S Pen. It's actually a very good tablet. It's comparable to like the newer iPad Air. I thought from a hardware perspective, it was very good. Like just, it felt good. You could draw on it really well. The pen performed really well. It's using Wacom's pen technology under the hood. So from a hardware standpoint, yeah, you could totally replace an iPad with an Android tablet. From the software standpoint, it gets a little tough. If all you need are some, basic drawing, painting programs, there's some decent ones out there. Sketchbook Pro is a good one. If you like Sketchbook Pro, you're in luck. I would just go straight to Android if I were you. But it is lacking some things like the AstroPad, for example. AstroPad's being replaced by Apple's Sidecar. There's nothing like that for Android. There's a couple programs that kind of do it. It's been a while since I've tried, but they were horrifically bad. Most of them didn't even work at all. So there's nothing like that. Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo and Affinity Publisher will be coming to the iPad. Affinity Designer and Photo are already there. Those are like pro level apps, and there's nothing like that on Android, unfortunately. A lot of people are fans of Procreate. I'm a fan of Procreate. There isn't anything that I feel is as good as Procreate on the Android tablet. There's some people who disagree with that and really like iBez Paint, really like Affinity Painter, and some of the other apps. So you could definitely get used to some of the other apps out there. So yeah, from a hardware side, Samsung has some really nice tablets out there. Wait, did I say that right? From the hardware side, it's really good. From the software side, I don't feel like it's anywhere near where Apple is. So those are the questions for the day. If you have a question, don't forget to reply to the email that sent you here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days.